My name is Tesfaye, Adafrus Balluhu. I would like to tell you how I came to Jesus. I was born in Ethiopia. I remember going to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church when we were kids, and also to the Ethiopian Orthodox priest school. That's where I learned how to read Ethiopian. That was when maybe I was 5 or something like that. In the neighborhood, a priest would gather so many kids and teach them the alphabets. And I went to a couple of priest schools. As I grew older, it's sad. Well, I think it was when I was 7, my mom and dad separated. My mom left home. It was a very sad event for me because I loved my mom very much. But she was gone. She was nowhere to be found. One thing I remember from when I was very young, even when my mom was at home, was my mom would have little books of prayer that she used every morning. And there was a book of prayer that she used which had pictures of Jesus being taken to the crucifixion. And it showed a man being harangued and harassed and being beaten and so on by many people, and he was carrying a cross, and there were many pictures of that all over the book. And my mom was not around, but I was looking at that picture and I was very angry. I was mad at the way those people treated that kind-looking man. So what I did was I decided to do something about it. I pinched every one of the torturers' heads out of the book. I just tore them out of those pictures. And the next day when my mom was about to read her prayer, which was on the back of the picture side, there were holes all over the book. She didn't know who did it. I didn't tell anyone. I just didn't like the way that kind-looking man was being treated. So I did something about it. In the 8th grade, I took a certain exam that came from a school in the capital city. Okay, that school in the capital city, it was called General Wingate School. They got their students from all over the country. So they would send teachers to take the cream of the crop, meaning first, second, third students from all areas in the country. They would give them aptitude tests and things like that, and then whoever won, he would get to go to that school. So the whole school was just made up of people who were of high-ranking students from all over the country. In that school, I remember there were a group of students that had a club. They called it a Bible club or Bible society. And they would invite other kids to come and join them for a singing meeting or a Bible study. But I had been warned not to go to those kids because they told me, my family, my mom, other friends, relatives told me, those are no good. Don't go there. We don't belong there. We go to the Coptic church. And the reason they gave me was those people, they don't believe in Saint Mary or the angels, or they are totally opposed to Saint Mary, and you don't want Saint Mary to punish you for being with them. So I tried to avoid them totally. I didn't want to get involved in anything that I didn't like Saint Mary, and because she was the mother of Jesus, and I didn't want to get in trouble with God. But the young people that went to that club, especially one young man, his name was Milkias, he would invite me. I had to respect his invitation. I just had to respect his invitation because when I first saw Milkias, he was barefooted. I had shoes. His clothes were torn, and I was embarrassed for him. How come he doesn't have nice clothes like me? I didn't want to give him mine, but I was embarrassed to give him mine. That might make him feel bad. But I noticed that his clothes were torn to pieces and he was wearing just threads. And such a person invites me to a meeting, and I felt if I don't go, I think God will punish me. I better honor this young man because in my heart I say to myself, I don't want to say this, but at that time I say, you have to honor the poor. That's what we learned. Every time somebody comes to your door, begs for food, you should, we were trained to go be the first one to grab some food left over and give to that person, and then you get a blessing. I went, just out of respect for Milkias. I went there and sat down in their meeting, and I listened. They were doing good. They were saying many good things. They were praying for the government, they were praying for the students, they were praying for the teachers, they were praying for everybody, these people. I was warned that they were anti-Saint Mary, so I would say a couple of Hail Marys in between my listening to them. I would just pray one Hail Mary, two Hail Marys, and then listen to them, and so on. I say to myself, these people are good. The people that are talking about them are just jealous. I think we should be able to put our faith in practice as much as they are, and that would be a good thing. That's what I thought. And since I have already done my duty of respecting that young man's invitation, I left. One day I came back to that place. Nobody was there. I came really for another reason. I was looking after a young man whom I thought took my shirt. I lost a shirt. Our dormitory has 100 students. And things sometimes disappear. Watches, shoes. Sometimes only one shoe disappears. Sometimes. So my shirt disappeared. I had a hunch that one young man took it. But I began following him. He went there to that place. I was looking for him. I went in. I was standing there. He had locked the door. I stood at the door, began knocking on the door, and I heard someone come from behind and say, please go in. It was one of the senior students. But the door is locked, I can't go in. And I didn't come for prayer, I came to beat someone to get me my shirt. The young man inside heard our conversation and he ran away. I was embarrassed to be running after another kid when here a senior student supposes that I came for a prayer. So I say to myself, I looked at the kid that ran away and I told myself, I'll get you another time. And I went in to pray. I went in and sat down. The other guy knelt. I feel embarrassed to kneel in the presence of other people. So, and I wanted to give him privacy, so I turned around from seeing him and I was just sitting there contemplating. All of a sudden, a thought came to my mind. Why am I running after this kid? Because I lost my shirt, because I think he stole it. And I said to myself, well, I used to steal things myself at home when I was a kid. I used to steal sugar. I used to steal snacks. Man, I'm a thief, running after another thief. I say, I better not run after this kid. I'm a sinner. I never thought I was a sinner before that time. I never thought of it. I thought I was doing good. I mean, I have my, faith string on my neck, one, and I pray, I fast on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I know how to read the Psalms of David. I thought I was okay. But now I say to myself, no, I am a sinner. And thinking about it, I just thought many things that come to my mind that are not good, that I wouldn't tell to my sisters or mother. And then I say to myself, I am a sinner. I wish God would forgive me and just send me to hell. I think I'd be comfortable if God just sends me to hell, but before He forgives me. Let Him forgive me and send me to hell. I'll be comfortable at that time, I say. But then, while I was thinking like that, I just happened to notice a Bible next to me. I picked it up. And I just opened it at random. I learned this from my sisters. My sisters, my elder sister Walansa and Zerha, they went to an Adventist boarding school. And when they came from that school, they taught us a game using the Bible. They would just, we would sit around and they would say, okay, open the Bible. First, think of a number. Okay, number 2. Then open anywhere. Okay, and then read number 2. Has not my hand made all these things? So they came into being, declares the Lord. This is the one I esteem. He who is humble and contrite in spirit and trembles at my word. So, just like that, we would play around opening the Bible with a number in our hearts. And that time I just say to myself, I picked the Bible and I just opened it. I didn't have a number in mind, I just opened it. When I opened that Bible, my eyes fell on a verse. The verse said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavily laden, and I will give you rest. It was from Matthew 11:28. And learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart. You shall find rest for your souls. When I read that, I said, Jesus is talking to me, right there. And I remember in kindergarten, this is the way we made friends. If your friend would stick his little pinky and you'd cross them like that, and then from there on you are bosom pals. Yeah, you share snacks, share everything, you defend each other. But if you fight or if you quarrel, then you have to do like this, puh, and then you're no more friends. So I remember that, I just said, I'm a 9th grader now, but I just remember that from my kindergarten years, and I stuck my little finger right there, and I say, Jesus, let's be friends. Let's be sharik. That's the first instance I committed to be friends with Jesus. And then I say, as soon as I said that, I felt peace. And then I got out of that room. I felt like there was someone with me. I just felt good. From that time onwards, I kept coming back to that place. And sometimes I would just talk to my friend, newly found friend, Jesus. I knew about him, but this time I knew him because he was real to me. I talked to him, and I would say to him, let's go for a walk, Lord. And I would go for a walk with Jesus. I would talk to him. I would talk to him like a friend. I'd say, look at the bird, look, you really did a great job of creating it. Or look at the sunshine, or look at the trees, and so on. I would talk to him like that. And I would talk to him about everything, just like I would talk to a friend. He became my friend, my bosom pal. And that's been many years ago. I still feel that way, praise God.